All right, everyone. Welcome again to the Build Assets Online Show. Today we have with us, I got to look at the camera. Today we have with us very special guest, star student Daniel Apke. Daniel has really just taken to the Build Assets Online lifestyle and embraced everything about it. If you'll watch our last interview with him from probably over a year ago now, he joined the elite fleet from another dropshipping program. We quickly increased his success drastically. And now he's doing big things. He's thinking about selling his store. He's doing land. He just really followed what we teach, and I think is doing pretty well for it. So great to have you back on the show, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think it was last April or so, and a lot's changed since then.
Cool. Yeah, so I guess why don't you take us through that, because I forget where we were last year, where you were in terms of your store or overall what you had going on, maybe your expectations. So cue us in as to how things have changed for you.
Yeah, so at that point, I had one store. It was kind of beginning phases. I started it late 2019. So I was really ramping it up during that period. And I think that was last April. And by the time May hit, it was doing well into six figures a month. So that was kind of my transition period. And then I only had one store at that time. And then throughout that summer, which was last summer, I opened up another store. And then I partnered with my brother on another store. So I have a total of three right now, three stores. So I'm partnered with my brother on two, and then have one, which was my first one by myself. And what's that?
No, I was going to say, this is advice that I think I've been giving a lot more. Well, I did a coaching call today, and when I said you were following in the Build Assets Online footsteps, I think exactly what you described. I just want to just talk about it for a second, because I don't think people realize. Now, you had your one store, and then you quickly threw up a bunch of other stores, leveraged your family members, threw a bunch of things at the wall, and just built up your online assets. And that's what we did. That's what you did. And that's it. I just wanted to point that out, because many people don't realize. I talked to a student today on a coaching call, and he had kind of expressed that he didn't want his first store to be a failure. He didn't want to go so far and then realize he did the completely wrong thing. And I told him, something similar to what you described is, it's not about that. It's about building the assets and seeing where they land. So good job.
Yeah. And throughout that process, I focused a lot on SEO on my first store, trying to make like kind of a blog site off of that. And then I also did Kindle for a while. I ended up getting out of Kindle. And then you guys actually on the podcast at one point got me into land. So I've been doing land with my other brother as well.
Yeah, so you have a lot of brothers to exploit, and we'll get into that. But Joe is saying how, we have students that come and they don't want to do the wrong thing. So I guess, could you talk about maybe some of the mistakes that you made during the first store, and then kind of how you feel like you've been able to course correct through different stores, and what that process has been like?
Yeah. For the mistakes, let me think. I think the biggest part, I was focusing on the wrong things. I think a lot of people do that at first. You focus on the wrong things at the wrong time. And as you gain more experience, you kind of learn what's important. And you guys preach that over and over again about suppliers and Google ads and all that. But I think just putting all my attention in things that don't really move the needle from a revenue standpoint, that's where I really wasted a lot of time. And then, once you figure out what works and what doesn't work, you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And just learn from that and grow.
Yeah, because I guess in the beginning, you don't know what the important things are. People take for granted the ability to just isolate what the main factors are in your business and do them perfectly. And so that's why, Joe and I tell people just to start doing stuff, and then those key factors will kind of reveal themselves, but they can only really reveal themselves for you and your particular business, because it is kind of unique, and it's something you have to go through firsthand to actually get.
Exactly.
It's like unconscious competence, they call it, right? And then you figure out, you're conscious of what you're incompetent about, and then you become competent and conscious of that.
Right.
So yeah, do you feel like when you started at the other two stores, were they able to become successful a lot quicker?
They were originally. So at first, actually, with one of the stores, I partnered with my brother and only got a small percentage, and he was kind of running the show from there. And then we ended up giving half and half. But yeah, I think we're at a point, we're in a transitioning phase. We haven't put that full force of energy into those stores yet to really take it to the next level where my first store is. But we are moving in that direction. We know what to focus on, and it's definitely enhancing growth for those stores quicker.
Let me ask you a question. There was one store where we actually told you, like, we normally don't say this, but one of your stores that you were thinking about starting, we actually said, no, like, we actually really hate this niche.
That industry, yeah.
But you did it anyway, right?
I did it anyways, yeah.
And that's I want to notice that, because there's really, like, I don't even know what I'm going to say, but you created an asset and you weren't worried about whether it's going to fail, even though we said it might not be good. And
right.
Once it's created, it's there. And maybe it's not the most optimal thing you could have ever created, but now it's a little while later. You still have it. It's built. Mm-hmm. You have a foundation to build off of. And it's a beautiful thing. And I don't think people see the value in just creating something, even if we don't like it, or you're questioning whether it could be good. Just create it and build off of it later.
And to be honest, you guys were right about that industry. We had to pivot massively out of that industry and kind of go to sub niches and get out. You guys it's extremely seasonal, that niche. So we kind of got out of that. We're still in it, but we're focusing on other niches in that, because our store was broad enough name and we just went a lot broader.
Yeah. So you still at least followed our principles, as far as, like, you're setting yourself up in a way where, okay, you cannot listen to us and go down that road, but you could still have the opportunity to completely move away from it, honestly, if it doesn't work. And so
exactly,
that's, like, the big thing about how we do stores. And, I think you see that now. It's like, you have to set yourself up to be able to pivot, because that is the strongest point of online business, is the ability to be able to go from one thing to another if something fails or something doesn't work out the way that you expect it to work out. You don't have this rent you have to pay. You don't have all these employees, all this overhead.
Right. Exactly.
Work home. Next thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And we've had a lot of issues with one store on just being extremely difficult to get suppliers. And that's where it's been really handy to be able to pivot to other niches and categories. There's like 10 suppliers in that industry, and you can only get 2 or 3 of them. So we had to pivot out of that as well.
Well, maybe in another year, you might be able to get those other suppliers, even if it's a long-term project.
Yeah.
Because, like, for us, we have some stores as well where it's like, these stores are a couple years older now, and we've been able to go after, say, some bigger names, and we have a lot more. We have a lot more to show for that store, and we also have a lot more to show for our entities as a whole. We can say, this is who we are,
mm-hmm.
This is what we bring to the table, and there's so much more proof.
Right.
If you can show, like, okay, versus someone that's new, they call, their store isn't even unlocked. It's like, how are you supposed to land big names with that? And it's not, everyone starts at that point, but you can't expect to just get everyone out the gate. So exactly. That's why you feel it to get who you can.
Time in general is just a huge factor with getting good suppliers in the industry. It's a big time thing. They want to see you're there to stay. You go to them, every few months for a couple of years, and they come.
Yeah. Well, I want to transition to the idea of time, because how does it work? No, I'm just kidding. So you are running a lot of businesses now, and you have one store you run yourself. You have a couple partnerships with your brothers. Mm-hmm. So, like, are you doing more time management things? Like, what does time look like for you?
It's right now, it's really crunch. That's why I'm looking to sell one. But I mean, I think the biggest thing is just finding good partnerships. For me, it was my brothers. When you grow to a certain level, it's hard. You can't really put the amount of energy that's needed into a store to grow it yourself, I don't think. So I think by leveraging family and doing that, going down that route so they can kind of lead the projects, I think that was the biggest thing for me. And then I'm trying to get more and more into land, but first I have to get a few things settled with the businesses. But yeah, I think just leveraging good partnerships, honestly, is really important.
Yeah. So it's like in the beginning, you start out, you have a lot of time. And so you're able to put a lot of energy and focus into one particular thing. And
Mm-hmm.
so for you, that would be like your first store. You build it up, and then now you're gaining momentum. You're able to get some more partners on. You're able to do more and more things
Right.
to the point where it's like, okay, now you can look, you've created kind of a different problem for yourself. Now you're short on time, but you have a lot of different assets and you know,
Right.
assets, right? So you can look and say, okay, what's taking up a lot of my time? What looks like it could be, a better avenue to go down, and you can do things strategically, like sell a store or
Right.
what have you. And so it's a really good position to be in because you've created a lot of things for yourself, and now it's like you can kind of start choosing the path that you want to go down.
Exactly. There's a lot of options. Things are open, which I like. So
Yeah. And it's like, did you have that vision in the beginning, or a year ago, did you think that like this is where you would be, or did it just kind of turn up like that just through doing a lot of things?
I mean, I wanted to keep exploring different things, and being around you guys and in you guys' group, I see what you guys are doing, and I kind of wanted that to see what I liked, what I didn't like, and just spread my eggs out. But I think I was super hyper focused on my first store for a long time, and I think that's why it saw the success fast, because I was really, really focused on that. And then once that got profitable, I started exploring the Kindles of the world and all that.
Mm.
Last time you were on the show, Daniel, I believe you were working a full-time job, right? Are you still working that?
No, I don't have a job.
Okay, wow,
Okay.
that's a big thing in itself. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because you were full-time in some sort of sales position last time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I actually quit that early this year. It was nice because I was working remote, and it was pretty flexible. I was still working, but when things came up with my stores and whatnot, I could work on them. So it was nice in that sense. But I got out of that early this year, and it was a really good move. I mean, ever since then, I could focus on the stores and just grow things and focus on land and put more time into things that are gonna, raise your assets,
Mm-hmm.
grow your assets.
Are you enjoying like I guess the different lifestyle, or has it not changed that much since you were working remote anyway, and you just have just as much to do?
It really hasn't changed that much, to be honest, because my old job was really flexible too, because I was in outside sales, so it was a really similar life. But I think just knowing that I'm self-employed and just working on my own assets is a game changer for me.
Yeah. Yeah. The more time you can spend on that, the better. And a lot of people talk about, the lifestyle of it, or, the paradise you can live in.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, like with the times that we live in now, how things can change so quickly,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you do need to set yourself up to treat this as a career. And maybe that's not something I would have wanted to hear 5 years ago, because I just wanted to kind of be a vagabundo, as my Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you do need to actually take this seriously. But I do want to bring it back to how you were talking about, you put a lot of time and energy into your first store. And so for a lot of people with jobs, that's hard, but it is a very, very important point, because you said that when you partnered with your brothers, things got stagnant because no one was really taking a solid lead on the project.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something people really, really need to understand, because especially if you're doing things by yourself, I know we talk about having all these stores and building a whole portfolio, but there is a balance between putting all your energy into one thing to really make it as successful as possible, and diluting your attention. Because yeah, if there's no one there to give the project its full focus, it's not going to become what it can become.
Right. Exactly.
So what kind of like struggles did you run into with that?
With in terms of what?
Well, you said how you partnered with your brother, and it's like things weren't going as well. Were you able to like fix that? How did that
Yeah, we ended up
out?
putting all of our energy, because we were trying to spread it out, like you said, too thin. So we kind of just identified what needed to be done, wrote everything out, and then kind of steps to getting them done. And we actually stopped focusing on both stores at once and put all of our focus into one store. And then once that store was to a place where we felt it was good, we'd kind of pull back, and then we'd do the same thing and repeat it on the other store. So I think that was the main thing, is we were just trying to do too many things. I had lead of one store, he had lead of one. Instead of taking lead of both or one store together and assigning tasks, which ended up being a lot more efficient for us. But I think that was one of the problems at first.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes efficiency can get in the way of success when, again, like you don't know exactly what to do. You
Right.
really have to spend a lot of time being inefficient and figuring out like, okay, this is not what's worked. This is not what works. This is not what works. Okay, this is what works.
Right.
And then eventually you could hire and put all those things in place. But it's not, people think they can just make 5 stores out the gate and just outsource them all and, you know, be chilling. But
Right.
sometimes it doesn't always work out like that.
No, yeah, it definitely takes time and consistency. And you just, like you said, just trial and error over and over and over again.
What's great about the partnership stores or any sort of partnership business is that you not only get the earnings. Oh man, I'm gonna rhyme. It's gonna sound so cheesy. You get the earnings and you get the learnings from both.
Yeah.
Because you know we have partnerships on dropshipping sites and blog sites, and you know sometimes you'll see what happens to those businesses, and even though you haven't done any of the actual day-to-day work yourself, it's good to look at and you can say, oh wow, like that worked out this way or that worked out that way. And it's kind of like the fast track to gaining more experience, which is, you know, probably one of the most valuable things.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, Joe, you did a partnership on a SEO project with, I don't know if she's a student of ours or someone that just reached out. And so it allowed you to kind of say, hey, like, try this out. Yeah. And that's almost what we did with our cousin, Jared, actually. We were like, we had him do a bunch of things before he even did drop shipping. Just like, hey, do this, to see what will work.
Testing.
And yeah, so it's like, you know, you're like a little CEO seeing, you know, what reports come back. And yeah, because you can only spread yourself so thin.
It is crazy too how different some of these niches are from one industry to another with suppliers, and
yeah,
that's the craziest. Some niches have like 12% margins versus some are working off like 35-40% margins, and then some are all Chinese suppliers that, you know, have warehouses in the US, and some are all US suppliers. It's really interesting to see the difference of niches too.
Yeah, and that's why, like, you know, it's hard to give, you know, like in our courses and stuff, you can't give specific advice because every person's situation is unique.
Right.
It's about where they want to take the business. Maybe they just want it to be like $2,000 a month. They're chilling, whatever, versus they want to dominate, versus they want to do some weird niche.
Right.
So yeah, that's why having multiple stores it teaches you a lot, because you can tell whether you're doing something wrong or if it's like something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Another factor.
I want to tell a quick story. Now, this is not from one of our students, but one of our colleagues, you can call him, that we met early on. We're trying to get him on the show, but I won't reveal his niche. But let's just say he has a niche that's not Google Ads friendly. And it's kind of funny what happened with his store is that he doesn't know anything about SEO. He can't get on Google Ads, but he made his store. He started posting about his stuff on forums and posting on like all these weird places, and eventually his site took off SEO wise without him knowing what he was doing, just because it was such a unique niche, such a unique industry that no one was really doing. And you know, he's doing, I mean, I think he hates his store, but I think he's doing pretty well money wise. He hates the niche he's in. I can't get into too many details, unfortunately, but
right.
Yeah, it's just crazy what happens industry by industry. And you know, a lot of times you have to just carve the way forward yourself. And just know that it's always going to be changing.
Yeah. So tell us about a little bit of the land stuff you're getting into, what that's been like for you.
That's been fun. I've been enjoying that. We started back in December, my brother and I. This was my other brother who's not partners on the dropshipping stores, my brother Ron. We started in December. We sent our first mailer out within like 2 days of signing up for the course. And then, yeah, I'm one to just kind of try things and see the results. I don't like to spend too much time learning about it. But yeah, we sent out our mailers and it was a rough start. a big learning curve in land, huge learning curve. But we just kept being consistent with mail. And it's the last couple months we've been seeing finally getting a lot of results and success. And it's really starting to take off for us.
Cool. So where do you picture your mental energy going in the future? How much on your stores? How much on that?
I'd probably say 50-50 in terms of my stores and land. But I've also been doing some in like actual real estate in Cincinnati that I want to spend a little time on too. I know that's not your guys' online assets course, but I've been doing some of that as well. But I'd say about 50-50. I don't want to be too engraved in one thing, like you guys say, kind of spread it out. But I definitely like to spend more time on land as well.
Are you gonna do like rental properties or something?
I do have some rental properties here, and I want to keep acquiring some and flipping houses, trying different things.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever plan to get into that in the future, but it's like for us, we also have the SEO stuff, the SEO side of things. So it's like, I don't know. We already have so much going on that it's
You guys got a lot, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I have a rental property.
You do have a rental property,
but yeah. I mean, I think I got to see where it goes in the next couple years. But I mean, I think rental property is like the long term, way. Like that's the way I would approach it. Is just buying something that I'm going to hold long term,
right?
Rent it out. Because really, I mean, at the end of the day, buying a piece of real estate, it's not as volatile as a website could be.
Mm-hmm.
A website could be. I actually want to ask you about the SEO journey on your website, because I know last time we talked about it, I really didn't even give you too much private instruction. I kind of just told you an overview of what to do. I think we hopped on like a 5 or 10 minute call, if I remember.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and I think I told you, basically what to do when you're able to take that and run with it. And I want to hear a little bit about that, because I think you said that now your store is getting more organic traffic than paid traffic.
Yeah, it's getting a lot. It's definitely growing too fast. My clicks are growing every week. It's crazy. I'm just watching it. It's just, if you just look at the graph, it's just shooting up right now. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
But
I'm like getting addicted to a graph, to refreshing a graph,
Yeah. Yeah. But no, so I kind of got like you said, you get the structure down first, do the basics, get the store, the architect down, and then I had some blogs written. I have a guy who writes a bunch of blogs for me. You helped me a lot with picking out the articles and all that stuff. And then had a bunch of those written, still have those written pretty often. And then I bought a bunch of backlinks from the company you recommended as well. And I think I had I bought 25 over a few months period. And they're all DR over 65, I think. Some are 90. So it's really, really good, solid backlinks. And I think that's what really helped it.
Expensive though, right?
Yeah, it's like $500 a link almost.
Yeah, luckily we're bringing that more in-house now, not really working with that company anymore, just because it was so expensive
it's pricey.
Yeah, but it's something that you could do on your own pretty easily if you outsource it. I actually have one of my Filipino VAs. Actually, I had him working on one of my blog sites that I was just getting started, and I kind of just wanted to throw him on it just to test the waters. He actually landed like a link from like CNN.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. They like interviewed him and stuff.
Did you interview, or did he actually take the interview?
No, he took the interview.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is that official?
It's official. Yeah.
Is the link official?
Yeah, the link is live. It's to follow.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't send me the link?
I told you it was coming.
Yeah, but you know how it is. You're the bag alert. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think that was one of those things. I could have spent the time and energy to try to figure it out, but I don't know if I would have ended up doing it. So it was probably best.
It's annoying to say the least. Yeah. But so yeah, that's pretty much all you did SEO wise. I mean, it's kind of funny. People we have the stuff we have in our course for SEO, and I feel that it's very simple. It's very straight to the point. You asked me a very limited number of questions, and I spent 5 or 10 minutes with you, and you were able to take that and obviously do a lot with it. And I really think it has to do with your bias for taking action. Not to sound too corny or whatever, but like I don't know how else to explain it. Like a lot of people when it comes to SEO seem to like a lot of things, I guess, ask questions that aren't that relevant. But again, I think a lot of success comes down to like narrowing what the tasks are, what the big tasks are. You said when you started, you spent a lot of time focusing on tasks that weren't critical to your revenue.
Right.
And that's really the key skill I'm finding working with people, is that the people that have the most success are able just to dial in on the core tasks and, throw them out there and see if they work and adjust along the way.
Yeah, I watched a few videos, and then I was following that John Dykstra, the guy you guys recommended to look at too. And then I just watched a few videos, got advice from you guys, and then kind of just implemented them from there.
Yeah. If we had waited, to get all the answers that we thought that we needed before doing SEO, we would still be at zero, because we've really, you talk about blazing the trail, Joe, like we had to fail so much and do so many wrong things just to narrow in on those key things that will actually increase your revenue.
Yeah.
And, we're still refining that process 5 years later or 4 years later, whatever it is. So yeah, it's, I think that's what separates the men from the boys.
Yeah.
Being able to, look, cause it scales over to not just like, it's not just focused on one specific business. Like it becomes a skill that you're able to you gain more acuity as far as this is probably what I need to focus on, and more, you're able to go through that mental exercise a lot better in your own head of like doing things, really seeing what it is that's moving the needle and taking action around that.
Exactly. And there's been obviously a ton of issues with every business you get in. I'm even getting sued on my site that I'm selling. I've been getting sued the last 4 months on that. I've been shut out of like 5 different merchant accounts. I couldn't find a bank. I had PayPal's holding $50,000 from me. PayPal just had a ton of different issues come up. And I think everyone with every business at some point is going to just have those issues that you got to get through.
Yeah. Yeah. Issues are the name of the game.
It is. They're always coming up.
Yeah. And it's like, there's always a next hurdle to get through. And, I forgot you had that problem with the merchant center stuff.
It was bad. It was
really fun.
Yeah, that was really bad. And then I finally found a merchant who's, been consistent with me, and that took a long time to do. But the problem was every merchant that was shutting me out was holding money as well. So in the early stages, you don't just have that kind of money to have tied up. Yeah. So you're working off max credit cards for a little bit to try to balance that out with the merchants holding all your cash.
Yeah. But like at that point, I guess you saw that it was worth pursuing, because again, there's a balance between overcoming every hurdle no matter what, because you're going to hustle, versus, deciding that, okay, you're being strategic. Like I actually see a way to make a lot of money with this store, so it's worth my time and stress and energy to actually push through this.
Oh yeah. Results were definitely there. No doubt.
Yeah. So you were already doing quite a bit of sales before you encountered the merchant issues.
Yeah.
Otherwise you probably would have just, I don't know, maybe went and did something else.
Flopped out. I've heard they eased up a little bit by now, I hope. I don't know if it was a COVID thing or what, but I heard they're starting to get a little more relaxed.
Yeah. I think it was a bit of a COVID issue with Shopify.
Well, I think I know exactly what happened, to be honest. So at the start of the new normal, I think we got to be careful saying stuff on YouTube. I don't know, but let's just say at the start of the new normal, I think what was going on was you had a lot of the low ticket scammer type people. Obviously, not all people who do low ticket dropshipping are scammers, but you had people like selling like fake masks and like selling masks and like not shipping them and like all sorts of like crazy stuff like that, like kind of at the beginning of the new normal when no one knew what was going on. And, you had so many people signing up for Shopify and running all these scams. Essentially, I think that's what caused them at the beginning to be a little crazy with Shopify payments. But we haven't really heard of too many issues in a while from our students in regards to setting up new stores and getting approved with Shopify payments.
That's good, because then that was a hot topic at one point in the group. It seemed like a lot of people were running into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about risk management
Yep.
for these big corporations. And, on one hand, I could see it. On the other hand, it's kind of screwed up. But so why are you getting sued? Can you talk about that? Or is that
So I can't, what's the type of lawsuit called? It's where they had a blind person sue me and saying my site's not ADA compliant. So it's a law firm up in New York, the Southern District of New York, who's suing me. They sued 75 people on the same day of me, and they crawled my website and just said, your logo doesn't have a ADA accessible link, like all this different stuff. They did an accessibility test, essentially. And then they filed a lawsuit against me. They had a blind person sue me, but it's really going through the law firm that's doing it. And now I have to go and fight that. That's been going on since like early this year.
so it's like a money grab?
It is, yeah. Yeah, and I'm fighting it. I'm not just giving. They said already out of the 75 companies that they sued, I think 60 of them already settled just to get rid of it.
Oh my God.
So it's been a headache, but it's really, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it will work itself out. It's not too big.
Yeah, maybe
That's
a few thousand in lawyer fees or whatever, but
it's not fun.
That's so stupid.
They came and knocked on my door. I was a Saturday morning, I remember, at like 8 a.m. They came and knocked on my door and handed me a stack of paperwork like 2 inches thick.
You got like subpoenaed?
Yeah, I did. They knocked on my door. It was like 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And
Wow.
so, but they're doing it to all kinds of online businesses, and they're trying to push it to the Supreme Court so they can't do it anymore, but it got rejected by Supreme Court. The judges hate the people who are doing it. But the issue is you still have to go fight it because you're getting sued. It's a legit lawsuit. So that's the main. You can't just put it on the back burner.
Wow. I don't know what to say to that. But yeah, that's crazy. Do you have any idea why you were among?
I have no idea.
Because I mean, like 70, it's a lot of sites, but it's a relatively small number of sites versus, all the ones that out there that are not ADA compliant.
Yeah, I think it was random because 78 was just on the one day. They're doing it all kinds, like multiple days, and there's other law firms doing the same thing. It's a big, if you look at it, like Wall Street Journal had a case or a article on it a couple weeks ago. It's becoming a big thing to do for these law firms to sue these online websites who aren't ADA compliant.
About to look into that then.
How would you even well, I don't know how many details we should get into, but like, how do you even make your site more ADA compliant? Like,
yeah, they have a scan. I can't remember what the scan's called, but honestly, at the end of the day, they did scan mine, and then I had a third party scan it too. 2 third-party companies scan it, and my site was above average for ADA compliance. So it just shows they're suing anyone. Anyone can get sued. They can go and pick out a couple of reasons and then sue you.
Right. I mean, it's just you just have a screen. From what I understand, it's just like a screen reader, and as long as the screen reader can like just read the text on the page, like what else can it do? Like if you're blind, you could only have...
I don't know, but what I do know, they don't really have they don't have a strict set of like laws that you have to abide by. So they literally scan your website, and then they say when you go to court, you just want to prove that you're improving your site's ADA. There's not like, you don't need to hit a certain percentage or a level, or they don't tell you to do certain things. It's such a gray area.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of this legal stuff is you can get sued for anything. That's what I've come to learn just through even like land. Not that we're getting sued, knock on wood, but working with a lot of attorneys and dealing with that. It's like, like anyone can sue you for anything, but do they want to go through with all the money and time that it's going to take? Is it worth it for them?
Right.
It's a bit of a money war.
Exactly.
But we also ran into an issue ourselves with one of our products was being, so basically we had a supplier, one of our products, the supplier was like allegedly copywriting another big company, and we were unaware of it. And so we got like a letter from.
I don't think we're allowed to. I don't think we're supposed to talk about this.
It's vague. It's vague.
All right.
But it's essentially, they were like, "Oh, you owe us this much in damages and all this stuff," and it's pretty ridiculous.
Who was saying that? The supplier?
No, the big company.
Oh, the big company. Okay.
For something our supplier did, for something we didn't even sell,
Oh,
basically.
you got it. Interesting.
But it was a similar situation where it was just one of these umbrella things where they just try and get stuff out of you. But
exactly, it happens. It's not the biggest deal. I mean, you just hire an attorney and try to solve it.
Yeah. I'm becoming more desensitized to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what goes on. So we got a bunch of questions here, I think, if we want to.
Oh, this is live.
Oh, you didn't know this is
live?
This is live?
Yeah, it's very live.
Oh, I didn't know. You sent me the Google Meet. I thought.
Don't slip up.
Yeah.
The world is watching. We got 28 people in here right now.
Oh, nice.
So Dion said, could someone dropship amusement park set pieces like roller coaster cars, or was that more in-house for the parks? So I'll let you guys chime in on that as well, but my general idea would be no, because I don't think like Six Flags is going on is like Googling like King the Ka set. You know, it's I don't know how that would work. Also, probably a big liability. Like, I don't see it. What do you guys think?
I don't know. Maybe like if you're gonna do like in the space of like backyard rentals or something, like those moon pits, like the moon bounces, maybe something more like that I could see. But I don't know about like a roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean, I'm searching roller coaster parts right now. I don't think it's not very fruitful.
God, I'm like, I feel my vitals are increased at the topic that we've been discussing. I have like a phobia of legal matters.
Is there a term for that?
I don't know. It's good to see that you could stay calm though, Daniel. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it has its ups and downs, you know. It's not.
I was laughing while he was telling the story because I was imagining your reaction, Joe, if this was happening to us.
I didn't know if it was a scam or not at first. I seriously had no idea. And then I started calling like other people and asking about it. I just had no clue.
So Dion, yeah, I don't have much hope for your roller coaster idea, but it did bring me to this website called firstdibs.com that has these $18,000 gold-plated roller coaster tables. So you can maybe skip the roller coaster parts and just sell these roller coaster tables for $18,000.
It's a roller coaster table.
If you just search, maybe just search roller coaster table and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, it just comes up. But yeah, okay. So let's get to the next question. Thank you for that, Dion. Mark Walsh, when you start a store, Daniel, do you test a bunch of high-ticket products on Google Shopping from the suppliers you got and see where the clicks take you?
When I start a store, once I get the suppliers, do I type in their products and see what comes up?
He said, do you test a bunch of high-ticket products on Google Shopping from the suppliers you got and see where the clicks take you?
Oh, you mean like seeing my competitors?
So I think he's saying once you're actually in with the suppliers, you start running the Google ads, you start running Google Shopping, and you're, he said, do you test them and kind of see where you're getting clicks and go from there?
I'm not actually clicking the Google Shopping links themselves. I'm looking.
No, he's saying when like the clicks that you're getting inside of your ads account.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm always in ads and looking at what search terms are going to what place and what products are being clicked, and if the products are good, do I want them being clicked or do I not want them being clicked? And of course, just trying to see. At first, I'm always analyzing data for the first at least 4 or 5 months I have a new supplier.
Yeah, so you're kind of just taking what you have, throwing it up, seeing what's coming back, seeing I guess if you're getting sales, like, do you want to be making sales for these people?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't like this product's too cheap, whatever.
Yeah.
And then kind of changing your bids appropriately to redistribute things.
Exactly. And sometimes you'll see like that you'll get like one product under a supplier that's getting 99% of the clicks, and that product's never being sold. And who knows why it's getting all the clicks. It's just lower bids. So that's, you got to always keep your eye on the back end there.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. That's what we tell people.
Oh, literally just put my pants on.
So on that note, Graham Cook, there is no way Daniel is successful. If Bao, John Dykstra, and Doug Cunnington have taught me anything, it's that you have to be bald to be a successful web.
I'm missing something then.
You got a lot of brothers though, so you're checking off at least one of those boxes.
Yeah.
Unless it's a toupee.
That makes a lot more sense. Okay. Yeah, Mark Walsh said, I'm new, got 2 suppliers, and I'm just live with shopping ads. Yeah, so I mean, 2 suppliers is not a whole lot. I don't know how many you started with, Daniel, when you first went live, but 2 suppliers, the problem is it's not a big enough sample size, in my opinion. Or is a good starting point?
Yeah, the more the better. I'd get 4 to 5 to start, to be honest, but you can probably do that by the end of the week if you put some energy into it, get a few more in that niche.
Yeah. It's not to say, you can't. Joe and I think we went live with our first store ever with like 2 suppliers, maybe 3, and got some sales the first day. But yeah, it's just every situation is different. Like you're talking about, like every niche is different. So you can't be discouraged if you have 2 suppliers, you put them up, you don't get the results you expect. I mean, it could be for a multitude of reasons, but usually when you have a few more suppliers, 4 or 5, it becomes a bit easier to gauge what's going on.
Right. And you never, like you said, you never know which suppliers are going to work and who's not going to work. And, if you can go back now that I have a lot of suppliers, I could pick a few and have a store just off 2 or 3 of my best suppliers, but you never know what those 2 or 3 are going to be.
Exactly. And so that's why like the whole discussion of what niche is best, niche this, niche that, it's the people are missing the whole point, because you could be in a niche and you could have the shit suppliers. You could be in a niche, you could have the good suppliers, or you could be in a niche and you can't get any suppliers. So
right.
It's totally open-ended. You have to think past the niche. Every niche is obviously viable because people are producing it and selling it. So it's a matter of, can you get in with the good people? Are they going to share their good margins with you? Are they going to be taking care of you as a dealer? Whatever. So, Kane said, "What's going on, legends?" What's up, Kane? How you doing, Mike? Daniel, do you have a lot of like private conversations with people in the elite fleet? I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, behind our backs.
Not a lot, but there's a few people who reach out every now and then. I think I have probably like 5 or 6 consistent conversations with the same people. Yeah.
I wonder if people in the elite fleet should be considering taking on more partnerships. It's probably a good place to spark up some partnerships, because it could lead to kind of, if do it like me and Joe did, or like you and your brother did, you can go and you can build a whole bunch of things together, and it's easier to just allocate roles. But
exactly,
you have to be sure you're getting into it with the right person.
The right person, yeah.
We always get 5%. Any elite fleet partnership, we always get a kickback.
Someone said, or Aaron said, what even is ADA compliance?
ADA, it's like handicap accessibility.
Well, ADA is American with Disabilities Act.
Yeah.
So it's basically, it encompasses like anything disability related, like like in front of your restaurant, like having a ramp and stairs, I think is like
a ramp, stairs with like a handrail.
Yeah.
What about the American Dental Association?
You don't want them involved.
Hopefully they don't sue you too, Dan.
For having such wonderful teeth.
They want their cut. All right. What's the best way to open an LLC? Asked Aaron. I would say it depends on your state. You can be one area where, say, like in New York, I think it's like really a pain in the ass. So maybe using like LegalZoom or something would be not the cheapest, but
I think having your CPA do it is the best option always. Okay. That way they have all the paperwork, they have everything they need. They're probably going to be cheaper than LegalZoom, to be honest. I mean, when we open a new business entity, we either have the CPA do it, or he tells us do it this way and send me the information.
There you go. Yeah. Get Fly Fishing said Joe's core vitals need looking at.
I don't know if you want to see.
Kane said, Mark, you're a beast, twisting it for a real opportunity to make a sale. All right. Thank you, Kane. Mark, how's your store doing right now? Did you reach a 7-figure goal you mentioned in the last interview? I guess that's a question for you, Daniel.
Oh, yeah. We hit, I hit that last year. Definitely. So in 2020, we hit that. And this year I'm hoping to double or so. I think it would be between $2 to $3 million of revenue, if I were to guess, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we did hit that.
Mark must be a very adamant viewer. If he's recalled your sales goal.
Yeah, last April.
A year ago.
Yeah, it always surprises me when people like know things about past streams, because I don't even remember them.
Yeah. Graham said, it's a beautiful toupee, Daniel. I missed the start of the video. What are you doing revenue-wise with the high-ticket store, and how many land deals have you done thus far?
Land deals, we've acquired, I actually don't know the numbers. Let's think. We've bought, I think, between 12 to 15 now, and we've sold a few of those, but we're under escrow with a lot too. And then revenue for my store last year was about, I think, 1.4 million or so, little under 1.5. But those first 4 months hardly had anything until I linked up with these two guys to help me out. And then this year should be between, I would assume I get over 2.
Boom.
Nice. Yeah. I suck at land, man. We have so many deals. It's like I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Land stuff.
I suck at the
Go ahead. Land stuff, I said.
Yeah, Joe, you suck at content sites.
I suck at building websites, so we're done. We're toast.
Yeah, so we're all here. We all suck. I don't know why people are watching this. Wally West said, how many stores do you guys own? So I don't know if that's a question for you, Daniel. You said you own 3. Joe and I own and partner on, I don't even know at this point. A lot.
Yeah.
Upwards of 6, I'd say.
Yeah.
6 dropshipping stores you guys have?
Probably more. I don't know. I don't feel like mentally counting it right now. And obviously, we've sold a few. So I think in our lifetime, we've like been involved with maybe around a dozen, but I don't know.
Dang.
I don't know how accurate that is. Something like that. Wally West said, when will course enrollment reopen? Joe?
Well, I would say go sign up for the web class, buildassetsonline.com/playbook. If you already watched the web class, you can send us an email, and I can see if I can get a spot for you. Go to buildassetsonline.com, go to contact.
Cool. Kane said, let's open a chat for connecting the Bow Kings. Kane is the man. I don't really know what he's getting at half the time. Very Australian, but we appreciate you, Kane. And yes, I agree with whatever you say. Arya Schwan said, hey guys, I'm new to the channel and haven't found much success dropshipping. Currently from Canada, And I wanted to ask what your thoughts are on ClickFunnels versus Shopify. Also wanted to ask how much I should be spending on Facebook advertising to expect a sale. Not sure if video ads or still image ads would make more sense. And I could tell from these questions why you're having trouble.
I guess you're very new to the channel.
Yeah. Aria, so I'd say definitely.
Why don't we let Daniel answer the question?
Yeah, you answer, Daniel.
So what's
ClickFunnels versus Shopify?
It sounds like she's running Facebook ads. You said?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about ClickFunnels at all. I work only off Shopify for my dropshipping stores. So I can't help you with ClickFunnels. I don't know if you guys have worked off those at all.
Nope. But yeah, so Aria, basically, if you're not familiar with our channel, we do high ticket dropshipping. So it sounds like you're working on dropshipping that involves Facebook advertising. We really do very little of that. We work with in-country suppliers. We have a lot of successful students in Canada. Do you have any interviews with Canadian students?
There's one with a guy named Jacob.
Yeah, I don't know where he's been. Yeah. Search Build Assets Online Jacob. And
Canada. Just search Build Assets Online Canada.
Yeah. Canada is great for high ticket dropshipping because no one is doing it. And kind of like the UK. And so, yeah, definitely familiarize yourself with what we're doing. And you don't have to worry about Facebook. You don't have to worry about ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels, if you're having trouble with dropshipping, ClickFunnels is not going to be like your savior. And we went through this a lot when we were just starting out because it's like you're trying to find the business model that's right for you. And so it's like, do I want to do Shopify? Do I want to do ClickFunnels? Well, if I'm going to do ClickFunnels, what am I going to do? Am I going to sell some like faceless product? Because clearly if you're new, like you don't have a lot of, you're not going to make your own course and sell whatever. So typically when you're new, you want to do something faceless, which I would certainly recommend. And doing it with dropshipping, with high ticket dropshipping from suppliers that are in your country is by far the easiest way to do it because it's so normal. You go and you buy nameless products all the time. Like you don't know the person that's making the...
Mike, sorry to cut you off here, but I think what she's referring to is people actually do try and sell low ticket items on ClickFunnels and do like upsells and stuff like that. So I think that's what she's talking about. Right. Just to clarify, I actually got to get off because I have a meeting at 4:30. We don't do any of that. So what I would recommend is actually go watch the web class, buildassetsonline.com/playbook. You'll get the most information there, probably in like some of the most condensed format on exactly what we do. But I would say steer clear of everything you're talking about. Steer clear of Facebook ads, steer clear of ClickFunnels. If you want to be successful with dropshipping, you basically just want to become a retailer within your own country for legitimate products and legitimate brands in your home country. That's the most brief explanation I can give.
Cool. Well, seems like we got a hard stop. It's been a solid
it's been
55 minutes.
Yeah.
So I guess, Joe, do you want to wrap it up?
Yes. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Daniel. Appreciate it. Juke Nukem, is that a framed Kramer picture behind you? Yes. buildassetsonline.com/playbook. Go check out our web class. And thanks for checking out the stream. I wish I could stay, man. It's kind of, usually we have nothing to talk about, and now I feel that I have to go.
All good. Well, good stuff, guys.